You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live Next, featuring intimate and in-depth interviews with Black Hollywood's next edition of stars and influencers. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live Next.
What's up? It's the realest show right here on Black Hollywood Live. I'm your host, Megan Thomas. You can hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, and that Twitter at Meg Scoop.
Hey
like
guys,
scoop of ice cream.
I should have added on that. I should have added on Meg Scoop. Hey guys, I'm Courtney Tesno. You guys can keep in touch with me at Tesnos on Twitter and Instagram. Welcome to our show.
And make sure you use the hashtag BHL Next if you have any questions or if you have any comments, because we'd love to hear what you have to say. And as always, on Next, we have a fantastic guest. Okay, honey, he's fine. That's all I gotta say. I don't even think there's any other introduction. He's fine. Period. Give it up for Held House Moore.
All right. Hand clap
You've
for
seen him on Single Ladies on Centric every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. What's up, House?
What's up? How y'all lovely ladies doing?
Good.
Look, see you. Look, is
See, I
this?
changed the voice.
You just said it. That's your
Right.
sexy
Got too
voice.
smooth.
That's your
My
midnight
TV
voice.
voice.
Well, how did you get the name House anyway?
It was just like a family, friend nickname because, my name is Harold and it kind of didn't fit, but I used to play sports. And so, like, all the dudes were like, yo, he's strong as a house, or he taking it to the house. I played basketball, I played football. So it was like an embracing term for how good I was
Right.
at sports and how dominant. Because I used to house dudes.
That's what
So
it is.
that's a little house right there. That's a little house. Then I kind of got big, but house kind of stuck.
Okay.
Man.
House. Because I was like, what does that stand for?
Definitely.
Does anyone call you Harry?
There's this one chick who's always trying to be cute. Like, that ain't funny. She's like, I'm going to call you Harry. I'm like, I ain't going
She's
to call
trying to
you
be
nothing.
different.
I'm not going to call you at all.
Yeah, goodbye.
I love it. Okay, let's get into some
So
casting
don't call me
news.
Harry.
Yes, don't call
We'll call
him
him
Harry.
House.
Don't call
We'll call
him.
him
Does
House.
anyone call you Harold? Like your mom?
My mom, they call me H, House, boy.
Yeah,
Boy.
we all have the nicknames. Yeah.
I don't know. I think only time they call me Harold is when they, either sending me a check or coming for a check.
Amen.
Yeah,
I like that now. All right, so let's get into some casting news. What's up in casting? So Ice-T, the legendary rapper, and his big booty wife, Coco, hey girl, they are going to have a talk show, a daytime talk show that's going to air August 3rd on Fox.
Wow.
Now, this is different because they're going to have some hot topics, interviews, they're going to have the banter, and if you know, they had their own reality show that showcased their life. So now they're transitioning into daytime talk. Would you watch it?
I'm going to let you go first before I say anything.
I think, knowing your target audience. I mean, that's the first part of television. And looking at them, they mature. They obviously been around. And, mature and seasoned, model and definitely actor and artist and musician. So, I mean, they have a possible audience. So, me personally, I probably watch it for, episodes. I see everybody. So, you kind of got, he's one of the, legendary influence of just hip-hop and just that, whole culture of gangster rap and just, transitioning, was one of the forefathers of transition from music into television and film. So, just out of respect, I probably watch an episode or two. I mean, Coco thick, so.
I thought that was going to be the main reason that you
I know
watched
that's a real reason.
Right,
You have a
'cause
nice
Coco's
flowery and Coco thick.
What is that? Yeah.
That'll
Yes.
definitely get people going. I think I'll watch it the first couple episodes just to see how it goes.
Right,
I mean,
right,
I
right.
wasn't into the reality TV, but I'd love to see how they take on the new platform.
Right, absolutely. So that's August 3rd on Fox. Be sure to check them out, support them. And also in casting news,
Oh,
rapper.
and they gotta have me on there.
Oh, yeah.
Quick
If,
plug.
if they ain't got me on there, I ain't watching it.
Boo. Even though Coco thick.
She ain't that thick. Money first, MOB.
I love it. Okay, also the rapper The Game is set to be on a reality show on VH1 to find love. The show is called She Got Game and it's slated to air this summer. And his celebrity friends are going to be finding some ladies for him.
No. No, I don't know if I'm tuning into this one. I can't. Is it like another For the Love of Ray J? Like, I just can't.
For the love of the game.
I know, but I'm saying it's similar to like the For the Love of Ray J. Why does everybody feel like they have to go on a show to find love?
Would you go on a TV show to find love, House?
It's funny because I was actually talking to some producers about going on like 10 dates nationwide, and it was something similar.
And you would agree to it?
I mean, yeah, if you're trying to find the right one, you got to think, like, now we live in a society where everything is so accessible because of, social media. So, now your wife might just be on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can just like, oh my God, my wife just DM'd me. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Trust
just
me,
different.
you're gonna have
You
a
don't have
bunch
to
of-
walk to the grocery store no more. Now
Right.
you can date, chicks in Ireland and Africa, Korea, and actually I had a friend who met a girl like in the Middle East somewhere. I don't even know how they met, but they married now and got a kid. It's like, how you fall in love with a chick and
You just got like 50,000 DMs
Iraq.
right now.
Right.
DM me.
You might be on that date with me, huh?
Hey,
Oh my goodness.
Do you okay? So if you go on a reality show to find love, do you honestly feel like you can find love, or is it kind of like, let me just go see what's out there? I don't really know if it's gonna
Either
work
way,
out.
it's a come up because you got chicks signing up and participating in the whole process, and they're willing when they get there. So as a man, it can't get any easier.
my gosh.
They got 12, 15 lined up. Let me choose. So once you psychologically put yourself in a position to be chosen and go through this process with other women, it makes the opposite, whether it's a male or female, look good. So from that perspective, it's good. And then too, either way it go, it's still a trigger for the right person because some woman or some man, who depending on whatever the sex is or gender, is going to go, you know what, I like those qualities about him, and then it's going to open the door. So it's still an opportunity.
Look at you. You figured it all out, huh?
He did.
I read books.
All right.
I read audio books.
So yes, that's
Think
look at
about
you,
it.
smart man. You got
Oh
it.
my gosh.
So make sure you watch House's dating show whenever it comes on.
Right.
You
We
might
need
be
to
a
go ahead and get that
participant. Hit him up
Mine
on
would
Twitter.
be different though, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm somewhat like a hopeless romantic. Like like I'm that dude. I'm more of a homebody. That's why I rarely do interviews and a lot of social media. I'd rather be at home with my family and friends over barbecuing, playing taboo, doing karaoke.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like I
So-
don't do this for the fame. I do it because I love it. And sometimes that's my biggest conflict with even this industry is because I don't like being all out like that.
Mm-hmm. So
You know?
what would be the perfect setting to find the one if you could set that up?
I don't think it is. I think it happens when it happens. The most valuable
Organically.
thing you have in life is time. So if you put yourself in a position to always be in a position for opportunity to present itself, then you give that time or that situation opportunity to prosper or flourish.
What's the worst thing a woman can do?
Call me Harry. The worst, you gotta have a chill. You know what I'm saying? Like and be confident. And for me, I love a woman with ambition. Like to me, I'm one of those dudes to where even though I'm my exes, it's hard to let me go because I encourage you to be the best you. There's nothing more attractive than us coming home talking about a successful day or overcoming stuff together.
Right.
And they got, it's hard for successful women to find a good man. No, it ain't. You just dealing with insecure dudes.
Ooh, you better preach
All
that.
right, we go end on that
Preach
note.
that. Yes. So make sure you watch The Game's new reality show for love.
Hey,
It's
Game,
called She
don't-
Got Game on VH1.
Gabe, don't beat nobody up on the show.
Please.
He ain't fighting everybody. Shout
Better
out
be
to the
fighting.
Game, man.
Don't be fighting no girls on that show. Okay.
Please.
Don't fight
What's
no
up with
girls.
the new music?
Okay, so the fresh beats. I've been waiting for this. I love JoJo, but it's been like 9 years since she's had anything. It was a little too late. And then we had Leave when she was like 13 years old. Now she's
my gosh.
24.
Wow.
It's been that long. That's
Wow.
crazy.
Okay.
So now she has a new song called Far From Heaven. It's the soulful ballad. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
Here we go.
So far from me, I'm slipping away. So far from me, keep slipping away.
You gotta wait on it.
So far
It doesn't even sound like her.
If you listen to the whole song, she blows
She
in this
feeling
thing.
it.
She
She's
blows
already
in it. That was a
co-signed.
little snippet, but she's bringing it. I've been waiting for her to
She's
come
got-
back.
Yeah, she has an amazing voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Love
I'm
it.
happy to see her come back with this third album. So we're waiting for a release date, but that's her first little snippet for
All
us.
right, JoJo, Far From Heaven. I'm ready for it. All right, so let's talk about you, House. Let's get into you. Let's go back to your beginning, your roots.
Right. Okay. So you were raised in Detroit.
Yes.
D-Town.
Yeah, D-Town. Okay, so did you ever imagine yourself being in the entertainment industry, being from Detroit?
I didn't. It's not one of those things that they encourage when you grow up in the inner city. It's one of those things to where it seems like a fairy tale. Like those people who do that, they were bred for that or given or it just seemed like another world. Even when as I progressed in it, I still was like, I'm not really doing this. But I'm such a competitive and competitive person. I have like an enormous amount of drive to be the best. So after it happened, and after I acknowledged it and said this is what I want to do, then it was full steam ahead.
Right. And then what other careers did you have in mind, since you said that wasn't really pushed in Detroit?
I thought I was gonna go pro in basketball.
Okay.
Basketball is my first love, my first passion. It got me in the position that I was in. It got me out of a lot of trouble. So, initially, I thought I was going to be in the NBA or something like that.
Okay, so college basketball or basketball in general, what did you learn from playing sports that you got the chance to transfer over into acting, modeling, hosting?
I honestly, and this is, probably sad to say, but it's the truth. I learned, and this was the hardest lesson, with me having the ability that I had to play basketball, and anybody who know me knows they could say he can go. It was going to a black school. HBCU, I felt like limited my chance because you got to have people in a position of power that are ready to grow.
Right.
And at the time I went to Alabama State a couple years ago, they wasn't in that position, and I was I'm a person that thinks ahead, and I was thinking, well, if we have all these top black athletes start going to these HBCUs, and a lot of these schools, that's how they build their brand. You look at, I watched the 30 for 30 on Florida,
Right.
And that's how they build their program because they become number one. So once you get that national attention, enrollment increases,
Right.
money increases, and then the university grows. So I was thinking, like, look, if all of us start going to these HBCUs, we can beat the Dukes, the North Carolinas, and be on that
Right.
level. But
that's true.
the people in power have to be on that same level
Exactly.
and have that same expectation for their students and athletes.
Why did you pick Alabama State, by the way?
Yeah.
Because I went to Alabama, and I was going
Like
to walk
University
on.
of Alabama?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was going to walk on there. I had talked to the coach and everything was set up, and I got there and I felt like a nigga. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, hey, yeah. And so I hopped on a Greyhound that next day to Alabama State. I went to the closest black college.
Oh my
goodness.
You know what? And I want to say this.
What's the truth?
I don't know what it is about Alabama. I'm from Kentucky, but I love Alabama and the schools in Alabama because when I went to college, I went to the University of Kentucky. We would go down to Alabama for homecoming. Alabama State plays
A&M.
A&M for what is it, the Magic City Classic.
Yeah.
Like that probably was one of the best times of my life,
Oh,
and
it
I really
turned
was
up.
like,
But
why
that's
did
what it is. It's a
I
big
roll down
party.
to Alabama though?
Yeah.
Why would I roll to Alabama to party? That's so sad.
It's turned. No,
It's fun though.
It's fun
Crazy.
though. Like culturally, from a cultural standpoint, being around, and then I was so diverse. I mean,
Right.
Alabama State grew tremendously. They had one of the top forensic science programs in the nation. They're heading into law. The state has taken over the university. So, even now you go to the campuses and it's a whole nother place. But just the culture of it.
Right.
It feels like one of those old school movies, like a School Days or back in the
Right,
day, and
right.
you can just feel that culture. And I think as I think I was kind of like as I graduated, like I got to see the last glimpse of that era. You know what I mean? Because, like, the Qs tried to get me to, be a Q, and they was, like, eating chicken bone. Like, y'all gonna eat? Yo, they were real.
I'm talking about my brothers like that.
Right, I'm like-
Yeah, the Qs, and if I'd have joined anything, it would have been the Qs because I feel like they were, the closest to my personality.
See, I'm a Delta.
Yeah,
I
see,
feel you.
yeah. Shout out
Okay,
to the
y'all.
Delta. Shout out to all the frats and sororities.
Yeah.
Definitely. What would somebody be shocked to hear about you from high school or from going to Alabama State University?
What? I think this shocked people.
You think
Yeah,
that
because
one?
everybody, I was mean. I was a mean. It wasn't that. The way we grew up in Detroit, you don't look at people unless you're ready to get it popping. You're not encouraged to be super sociable and outspoken. You just put your head down and do what you got to do, go where you got to go, and man up. And so when you have those people, like I had like a lot of street influences, and they just did what they had to do. It wasn't like yo blah blah blah, be cute, be funny, be charming. It was like nah, that was a cornball.
Yeah,
make
you're
it.
definitely a
Yeah.
Detroit dude.
Yeah.
Where did you go to high school, by the way?
Detroit Central High School. Shout out to the Trailblazers.
Look at you rapping it.
Yeah, we just had a little alumni game. Antonio Gates, one of my partners.
Okay.
Went to Central. Dwight Smith played with Tampa Bay. So them my my classmates and peers. So yeah.
I think people rep high school way harder than college sometimes. It's like, oh, that's home.
Yeah, it is different because that's when you grow into you in high school.
Right.
You know what I mean? You kind of say, you know what, this is who I am. In college, you still, then in college, you get to college and like, this ain't who I thought I was.
Right. Then you come out a
for real.
completely different person.
Right.
So who did you look up to growing up? Like, who were your role models?
God,
that's it.
God, that's who I looked up to.
No one else?
I was competitive. Like, I felt like if they can do it, I can do it. There was nobody, you know, if I saw them, I would, you know, like, I would play basketball, and I'll play basketball from 8, 9 at night to 8, 9 the next morning. You know what I mean? Like, and so, and my mentality was, if they're still playing in California,
Right.
I need to still be practicing. If they still playing in Korea,
Right.
I still need to be practicing. So when we met up and, you know, lock horns, we're gonna see who the best is. So, you know, and like I said, I didn't grow up wanting to act. So it's just from a basketball standpoint. So, you know, I grew up in Detroit, so it was always, you know, Isaiah Thomas, the bad boys, and, you know, it wasn't until I really, you know, as I got older, I respected Michael Jordan because, you know, Detroit people hated
Chicago.
you know, Chicago, the Indianas, the New York, and you know, it was a sense of pride. And, you know, so, and then after I got older as a man, I respected the accomplishments.
Okay.
What position did you play, by the way?
Point guard. But I look like I should be playing, you know, DB or something.
No, you look like, right. You look like you should be
played
playing a
football, too.
linebacker or
I
something.
did play basketball,
Yeah. You played basketball and you played football?
yeah.
Okay, what did you...
I probably could have went pro in football, though.
Okay, what position?
I played corner, DB,
Okay.
Yeah.
receiver. I mean, I had hands because I was, you know, point guard.
You know, I had hands.
I had hands.
Look at you.
Here you go. Oh my
Enough of my
God.
hands.
Oh my goodness, y'all are crazy. So outside of that, you really give back a lot to like inner city youth through like all of your philanthropy. What sparked that, the need to be a life coach and things like that?
Well, for me, I was one of those kids that's like, man, he bad. His ass bad. You know what I mean? But I was bad with a purpose.
Right.
Nobody was there to guide me. So, you know, a lot of times, like, I open doors and I'm respectful, and people are like, your mom and dad must be proud. And I'm like, if you see them, tell them. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad wasn't in my life, and me and my mom got a so-so relationship. So it was it's weird because I felt like life raised me. I don't even know how I got, you know, the manners, because I should be like really
Nothing but the Lord.
because my natural personality for like dominance and just, you know, like a little young lion, like people say that, but yeah, I'm about that life.
Wait, what made you become a behavioral therapist though for low-income families?
Because that's what it was. No one took the time. Like, we all talk about problems. Show me a solution. Like, I've always said, like, it's easy to criticize, but what are you going to do to make a difference? And I've always been, I think I put this on my Instagram, I can't speak louder than my actions.
Right.
I can't tell you what I'm going to do more than I can show you. And that's how it's supposed to be as a man. So you young dudes, let your actions speak, like, blah, 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 shut up. Do it.
Okay, so is it only for young dudes that you mentor?
I talk to men, I talk to women and men, but I'm just saying, we have a lot of, you know, beautiful, smart, educated, successful women that make a conscious effort to give back more so than the men.
Right.
Yes,
You know what I mean? And that's one of, even with Centric, you know, they emphasize, you know, black women television for black women, but that's ostracizing and it's sexualization, because now you just make it seem like you don't want male audience, which for me is backwards, because viewership is what makes the network evolve.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, come on, Centric.
Shout out to Centric.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so how did you make the transition from becoming a behavioral therapist all the way to becoming an actor?
Money. It was funny because a high school friend of mine, I saw her at like Lenox Mall. And so she's like, how's them having to get together, come through? Shouts out to Karen. And she took a photo and she placed it on her refrigerator. And the talent scouts for Elite Models was one of her friends. And she's like, your boy need to come down here. You know, he got a good look. And I was like, I ain't going on no modeling agency. And at this time, then I moved to Atlanta after I graduated, and I saw her again. She's like, did you ever call? I was like, nah. She's like, I had a homeboy, he just made 6 figures. At that time, I was a behavior therapist. I was working with kids, you know, I ain't paying nothing. And she was like, he made like 6 figures. I'm like, he ain't make no 6 figures. Taking a picture. I'm like, taking a picture? A picture. She was like, hey, he had a couple campaigns, and they boo-boo. Give me that number. And so I called, and it was just like,
What did all these noises?
it just started popping.
So
you
what
know?
happened? So how did you go from doing modeling into acting then?
Well, like casting directors like Vanessa Williams and I think it was a couple of music videos they shot in Atlanta. And they were like, you need to come to LA. You kind of got it. And I was like, I don't know about all that. You know what I'm saying? And then I came and, you know, I tried it out, came for a couple months, and, you know, I stayed with a good friend of mine, Sean Kerrigan, who was like an older, you know, he's an experienced actor, you know, and so he kind of like, you know, I stayed with him and slept in his living room and, you know, and all that other stuff, and he was like, yo, just give it a shot. And I did, and, you know, eventually it kind of got, you know, weird because I started working. So I had like moved out. I was like, yo, dog, I got enough money to get my own bedroom.
Right now.
And, you know, I can't have my lady crashing on the couch. You know, she likes to sleep naked. You know. So.
Oh my God.
She likes so much.
And I like for her to sleep naked. Yes, I do.
So I need my own space.
And I gotta go. So I moved out, and then, you know, I've always had the work ethic. You know what I mean, coming from the Midwest, and you know, just being a blue collar type dude, it just kind of happened. Like my first, I think, year or two, I probably burnt out like 1 or 2 computers, just self-submissions.
Right.
Like me and my boy Nason, we used to like walk around like drive around like 6, 7 different outfits in the car.
Right.
And like crash commercials, crash video. We crashed everything. Like, yo, here's an audition over on La Brea.
Oh, wow.
Shoot me the address. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Right.
He's like, yo, I got an audition. What time yours, man? Okay, and we would like, we would make a system. And we would, you know, 2, 3, you know what I mean? Some of my biggest auditions are, like, my Bud Light commercial was huge. It was like during Super Bowl, it was good money. That was his audition. You know what I mean? Then I did, like, stuff for, you know, Sony video games and stuff like that. That was his audition. And those are like 2 of my favorite jobs I've ever had, like just to play a basketball player on a video game. And like I said, I was just here. You know, I had just got here, so it was like happening. I was like, oh man, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And so, you know, and I've had some, you know, some great learning experiences too, because I also had the possibility of having a show with George Clooney.
Yeah.
And this was right at the end of Entourage. No, I'm just here, and I didn't even understand that you made more money possibly as a star of your own TV show versus being in a movie, because I booked a movie with Robert Englund, you know, who's Freddy Krueger. So I'm like, everybody like, yo, do the movie, you blow up for movies. It's a, you know, bigger audience. And so I had double booked. And so I was supposed to be on set for another show. So the casting director, who just gave me like 2 jobs just to build my resume up before I met George Clooney. So she was like, yo, I want you to do these jobs. And she called like my old agent. And I had told my new agent, like, yo, call, do the follow-up, and they never did it. So I was like, you know, F it. You know, I go with the person who riding for me, who working for me. So I told the smaller agency, like, book it, do it. You know what I mean? But it conflicted with the movie. And so I didn't tell my manager, so I was on set trying to hurry up, and then I had like some green screen work, and they had like a green slime suit on. So it's like, well, we can't let you go until we do this scene. I'm like, well, I gotta go. And it's like, well, we can't let you, we can't release you. And I didn't know what to do. And it was like, and I think probably one of the biggest, but you know, one of the hardest lessons I learned, but one of the best, because you look at it now, HBO, George Clooney as your EP, and it's the follow-up to Entourage. It was the basketball version, and it was about basketball. And so, and I, you know, I screwed that up, and it kind of like messed up my relationship with the casting director. But, you know, it was a hard lesson. I mean, because that's the case. You look at it now, that was like 6, 7, almost 7 years ago when I first got here. I would have been blew up a long time ago.
That's not what it's about, you.
Yeah.
This is your past.
No, George, I'm sorry, man. Call me,
Forgive me.
Wendy, girl, you know, it was a mistake. I was young. But, you know, it's stuff like that, you know, and that also helped me realize that this industry isn't going anywhere.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like, so don't be thirsty.
Exactly. And in 2007, you starred along Adam Carolla and
Yeah.
The Hammer.
Yeah.
What was it like to see yourself on the big screen?
That was crazy, because that was my first, you know, major film, and you know, Adams was great. It was one of those films that it was so focused on L.A. roots, you know, because he grew up in L.A. and we was all in Burbank and the Valley, and I was learning so much, you know, just, you know, history of the city of you know, L.A., but you know, more so the Valley, Burbank, you know, Glendale. We was all over there, and it was crazy. And it was one of those things that sparked me, and I knew, you know, ever since that day or prior to that, I wanted to be #1 in Hollywood. So it was cool. It was a great learning experience, but I never really, as they say, stopped to smell the roses, because I felt like all these are stepping stones for a bigger
Right.
purpose.
So then in 2012, you starred in your first recurring regular series regular role on CBS's NYC 22.
Deuce.
You were a cop.
I was the po-po.
You was the popo. How was it? What was it like to be?
I was a cool po-po, though.
You were.
I was a cool police.
And it only lasted one season, but what did you learn from that show?
It was great, man. I started opposite Lily Sobieski, Adam Goldberg, Terry Kinney, Stark Sands. We had Jane Rosenthal, who's runs Tribeca, amazing EP. Robert De Niro, him and his wife, amazing couple, just great influences. Ken Zenzel, who was our showrunner. For me, I felt like I had got drafted to the NBA because every black actor in Hollywood went out for that role. Like, you go to the callbacks, she's like, yo, that's our boy. From Lance to Eddie Winslow to Mario, everybody, everybody in there. You're like, I ain't gonna get it. Oh, they gonna pick him, man, 'cause, he got a Jewish girlfriend, he gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? He's sleeping with the producer's cousin. I ain't gonna get it. So, when I got that, I kind of felt like, and we had James Mango, who was our director, and I remember him when we got to New York. He's like, set up a private meeting for me and him. He's like, yo, House, I just want you to do what you do. You got this role because of who you are and what you bring to the table, your natural charisma, your energy, your personality, your charm. And he said, I'm going to tell you like I told Sylvester, how I told, he got the name of Brad Pitt and this and that. So he's saying all these names. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And so he got the name drop, and he's like, yo, you got it. And don't forget that you have it. He's like, there were a lot of people who came out, they're good actors, they said, but you have it, and that's special. So that was like one of those things I kind of took from that meeting. It was like, yo, I got it.
You have to have the it factor out here,
so
for sure.
Shout out to me for having it.
Oh, that's the only.
You obviously have it because earlier this year you were cast in Lifetime's With This Ring, which was executive produced by Gabrielle Union. Jill Scott was in it. Regina Hall. What was it like to work with such a powerful cast of black women?
That was probably the funnest shoot I've ever had. We were at the museums together. Like, we shot, I think, my movie where I had like the big premiere in a movie theater. In a museum. So they took us up and we saw the art, and I just remember me, Jill, and Eve, and Regina just all being captured. And it was just great to be around, like, not just beautiful women, but intelligent, classy, and all of them conducted themselves. It's one of those things to where, like, we have so much ratchet TV. I think it'd be so refreshing if people saw these women on an everyday basis to see how, from their trailers to makeup to how they function outside of cut.
Right.
And it was just all of us in our chill clothes and just really getting to know. And like, I made friends with all of them. You know what I mean? So our director. Was great. It was just a great experience, man. And Regina Hall is by far the most talented woman I've ever worked with.
Yeah, she's
by far. She's hilarious. Like, she doesn't get her just due. As far as her level of talent and her humbleness and her like love for acting and how much she gives back. Like, she called and I talked to her like 2 days ago, and she's like, well, House, you got to remember this. When you're this and you're this, you got to remember this, and this. And we just got a great relationship, man. And I talked to Jill a couple weeks back, and she's transitioned to her music thing, and just making friends with those caliber of people to where they call, they tell, hey, you good, blah 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 blah. And so that's what it means something to me.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was a great experience. So shout out to all of them, Eve, Jill, Regina, and the whole cast. Jason George, who was great. We flew in together, and after we got the chance to talk, it was so refreshing. Because the thing that I do when I get on set is I let them all know I respect them and what they've accomplished, and so I think that immediately drops the barriers or facade or the egos, because I'm there to learn.
Right.
And it was cool because like it'd be my take, and like all of them be like,
Oh, look at that.
your house, you killed that dog. Appreciate it, baby. So they would sit there and and a lot of times during all my scene, everybody was like watching, so it was cool. Oh, shout out to Deion Sanders too, man. I think he's definitely in it. Tracy
Emmons,
our EP, Sheila Duckworth. I think one of the coolest experiences that I had, and I'm just rambling, but I saw Dion. Like, he was just chilling. He was like, yo, my man, yo, blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking like, this nigga
What is he doing?
This nigga don't know me. Why is he, you know what I'm saying? What is he doing? He was like, yo, man, you killed. I'm like, oh, man, Deion Sanders fake too? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. At prime time. He's like, yo, you killed single ladies. And I was like, my man, Terrence. And when he said it, I was like, oh.
He watches it.
He watches it. And he got the, you know, talking about episodes and this scene and that scene, how him and Tracy, even when they saw my audition tape, they was like, yo, he got it. It's something about him. He different. He moved different. His energy. And I think, and then after that, we talked, I was like being cool. Talked about life, fatherhood. He extended himself. He was like, yo, House, let me, I almost went into my Denzel. He was like, House, do Denzel and Will and them reach back? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're obviously up next. So, you know, in football, when we see like a young stud, we contact them. We tell them this how you move, this how you do this. I was like, no, it ain't
Not like that.
Hey, man, what the fuck?
hit me up.
I should have played football. They give back. So, but that was like one of the coolest experiences. And as soon as we left, he had to go shoot, and I had to go get ready. I was like, yo, dog. Dion watched me on Single Ladies, dog. He told me, like, and I felt like I had got it. It was like winning an award, man, when somebody you idolize and grow up are a fan of what you do. So, you know, and I've had those, you know, different encounters where people go, yo, you know, everybody loved Terrence, supposedly. And it was just one of those good things, man. That was probably one of, you know, one of the most rewarding feelings that I had to like meet somebody. Like, I done met, you know, Jim Brown and, you know, a lot of people, but when somebody, you know, and he's an athlete and I'm an athlete, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a high level, one of the best to ever do it, and come up to you like, yo, you killed that. And I was like, yo, he's like, you killed that.
That's
I was just
respect. That's
trying.
respect.
That is
So
right.
shout out to Dion.
So let's talk about you being Terrence Franks on Single Ladies, which is now on Centric. It used to be on VH1. What has the transition been like with the new cast members and being on Centric?
The cast cool, the transition, yeah.
Yeah.
Is
there like a big difference?
It's
of
a
being,
huge difference.
What's the difference?
money.
Okay.
And you know, people say it's not about money, but look, people, this is why we have to live.
Right.
And this is what we, I don't do it for the fame, but I definitely do it for the fortune. I know what the possibilities of me and my family being financially set for the rest of my life. So as a man, you can't say, "Oh, I don't want to do it for the money. I do it for the love."
Right.
You ain't got kids. You don't got gas.
Right,
you don't have a
right.
car. You don't have a house. It is, and in our business, you are valued. You are recognized your success by your money. Like, you can't be a great actor making $20. Like, he made $5. His value, his net worth is $20,000. He's the best actor to do it. That don't make sense. And that's not, and unfortunately, that's not where we are society-wise. So, they kind of go hand in hand. So if you ain't making the money, you really ain't doing nothing. You working toward that. But ultimately, that's the ultimate goal. I'm not a materialistic person, but I want to know that I'm good, my family good, and the people I care about are good.
Right.
So going back, the transition was hard. When we shot in Toronto versus Atlanta, which is like my second home. Shout out to ATL. And we had a whole new makeup. The dynamic of the show has changed.
Right.
And all those Raquel fans, let me address this because I hear it all.
All the time. I was like, where's Raquel?
Where's Raquel? Listen, I'm going to just say this. Lisa Ray left the show on her last episode. She sent out a tweet, an IG, a message saying, thank everybody on the cast for the amazing time, the producers, and the ride. Right. And she informed the viewers, her fans, her followers, and people who are fans of the show, I won't be coming back. That's maturity. That's veteranship. So there's a way that you do it. You see what I'm saying? To where, you don't have to leave people in open when you're not coming back. You knew that before we start shooting. So I feel like by you having people that follow you, that's something you should have pride and take, for their sake of informing them. Like, yo, I'm going to have a baby. Thanks season ladies for all the memories and blah, blah, blah. Just the way, that's class. So that's what I'm going to say about that. And, and then to follow up that, if you're real fans of her, go to her page. You will see she's married with a baby. She's not about to be on Single Ladies.
Yeah.
And that's what, shout out to her and her husband. I wish them nothing but the best. That's what that woman, that lady chose to do at this time. So she put her personal life and her priorities into having a family. You can't. How can you be mad at that? Like that's every woman's dream to meet a great husband, and she's living a fairy tale. Like my man, Anthony takes great care of her. He makes sure she's good, exposes her to different stuff and different opportunities and stuff like that. That's the ultimate dream, ain't it? Especially for a woman to find a man who, you know, genuinely loves you and wants to start a family with you and going to do right by you, who's going to treat you like a queen. And if that woman feels like she has that, accept that. Like, don't be, Terrence and Raquel. That woman has it's bigger than that. And she's happy. So that's what matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Let her be happy. But as far as the fans and the way she could have done that, I respect the way Lisa Ray did it.
Yeah, it could have been a little different. I know a lot of people are. I always see tweets every week. I see every week. I see the tweets. They're like, "Where's Raquel?"
First of all, let me say this too. Y'all don't love Raquel like that. As soon as Stacey came, y'all was like, "Where's Stacey?"
No loyalty. Y'all not being loyal. So
what's next in your career? What have you not accomplished yet that you would like to accomplish?
My goal is to be number one. Until I'm number one in the box office, just know I ain't sleeping good. You know what I mean? I'm up more than I'm sleep, and that's just my ultimate goal, to be number one. And I do have work to do. You know, I don't really watch myself, but sometimes I go back and critique, and it's crazy to say it's not all about the acting. Like now you have to do the extras. But you know, fortunately for me, I'm talented enough in other areas. I'm writing. I'm creating a lot of my own, you know, content, which gives me the power to be in control. And because I feel as though by me traveling as much as I do and going different places, I see a lot of stuff, a desire, a need for there to be influential African American men. On camera and off camera. You know, like you look at the Wills and the Denzel, they're doing their thing, but they're not. That's just not there, and they're more so old school. You know, they still under that umbrella where a man don't be doing all this extra stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like Denzel, like your uncle. You know, and I was shooting The Hammer. He trained right before I did. We had the same Terry Claiborne at Pound for Pound, and Matt Damon sometimes trained. Matt was at 7, Denzel was at 8, and I was at 9. And so there was time where we got in the ring, like, your house, you got to quit jumping so much. Like, you real jump, you know, because I play basketball, I got in the ring, I'm jumping around. He's like, you're going to be real tired. Like, and so, you know, and then we, you know, went to a couple fights, and we topped it up after the fight. So, you know, and that was a great experience, just sitting around. I remember one time telling him, like, yo, you know, I admire, you know, respected what he had done as far as his career, and I, you know, if I can have a career, you know, simply like don't be like me, don't be better. I'm like, that's like telling Muhammad Ali you're gonna be better than him,
right?
But still respect. He's like, no, house, be better than. I'm like, all right, man, you know, but that's just the man in him. Like, don't be me, be better. Yeah. And then too, you know, when you hear it so much, I knew as I progressed in my career, I knew how it felt. Like, you don't want to hear everybody idolize, because at some point, like, yo, dog, all right, man, just, you know, if it's 2 people tell you, it's cool, but when a million, I can just have your career. Right. So I don't want to hear that shit no more. Right. So I respected it from that perspective after people started telling me they want to be like me.
Yeah. And then what upcoming projects can we look forward to? What do you have going on?
Like I said, I've really kind of put myself in a position to be in more control of my career. I know a lot of my peers and other actors, they sit around and they wait, you know, for projects. And I just don't like, as a man, waiting for people to, hey, pick me for a job. Right. Or, hey, I think I'm the best guy. Like, the people love me. The girls think I'm cute. I think I'd be great for this project. I just want to be in more creative control and more empowerment. And I'm a writer. And so that's a God-given talent that I have. Create your own content. Yeah, and I have like several projects that I'm sitting on. And it's like, you know what, House, you got all these projects. You got all this stuff you sitting on, all this content that you know that I feel like people will embrace. And one of them is a character in the book about friends. It's kind of like Sex and the City. I shouldn't even say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's kind of like Sex and the City male version. You know, it's about this writer, and I play the writer. And his friendships, and you know, his experiences, you know, maneuvering through the city, being professional, having friendships, and you know, stuff like that. And I feel like it's kind of, you know, classy and it's sexy, and you know, stuff like that. Because you know, even with the Kevin Hart, shout out to Kevin Hart, they put one of us in a position to the point to where we almost like, another Kevin Hart film. damn, Kevin on this too. Like you know, but you have to get it while you can. So you know, I understand. You know what, Kev, you have to get it while you can.
Right.
But you know, why does it always have to be when it comes to Black America? It's only one of us that can be, you know, at the top at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw an interview with Chris Brown, and he was just saying how competitive. Like it's good to be competitive, you know, musically or however, but it shouldn't have to be where it's just only one of us at a time.
Right.
No.
Like you know, that's just not. You know, I get what he's saying. You know, because we grow up to be competitive against each other, but on a bigger picture, you know what I'm saying. And you look at all the urban influence television. And we killing, whether it's hip hop, Love and Hip Hop, Scandal, or How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Grey's Anatomy's killed for what, 34 years now.
Come on, Sean.
So yeah, shout out to Sean. If you want to take your show to the next level, hit me up.
You know, right? Add some sexy to it.
Definitely.
So let's switch gears and talk about your family. You have 2 sons, right?
2 boys.
So I looked at your Instagram page. They
Oh,
are
they're
so cute. The little one, especially doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh my God, he's something else.
He just melted my heart. How old are your kids?
4 and 8.
Oh my God. So what do you feel like you have to teach them? What's like one of the most important lessons you have to teach your sons?
Be a man. Just be a man. I one thing that I always tell them is always think. Like I said, what's the thing you always do? They like think. Think, man, think. And like you think and you use good judgment, proper thought, you know, a lot of common sense, or just a little bit. A lot of times you put yourself in, you know, better positions than worse off positions. So, you know, for me, I just want them to be, you know, young men. I want them to love life. I want them to stay golden as long as they can. I love the fact that my sons are little boys, but I also have big expectations for them. You know what I'm saying? So they know, like my oldest one, I got him at the gym. I thought they about to Peterson me because I snatched him up. We was playing basketball. He started whining. I had to snatch him up. Like, you ain't whining no gym.
Stop.
You better not cry.
He's a
you
little
better not
baby.
cry. No, my 8-year-old, he ain't no baby, you know.
Oh, he's still a little
Girl,
one.
he's a boy. He's
yeah.
this is what
No.
Ryan's. Too many women go, oh,
No.
Hey, my nephew is around the same age, and we do treat him the same way. I'm just saying, he's not 25. He's not older
But
than
that's
that
the difference
age.
between the mother and the father.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
there's
the mama
certain
job,
roles,
too.
yeah.
I mean, I have a great maternal instinct. Like, I'm probably more maternal than, you know, my son and mom at times.
What?
Yeah, I do. I am. I do the cooking and, you know, so, you know, shout out, you know, my son got a great mother. So, but if they follow their heart and they're the optimal person that they feel that God made them to be, I'm happy with whatever the outcome is.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want, you know, I say follow your inner God, and that's in you.
Right.
So that's my biggest thing, and making sure they're not afraid to be men, not afraid to make mistakes, and to be gentlemen, to be respectful, to have pride. Like that's a lost word in our community.
Right.
That's been substituted for ratchet.
Right.
Like the thing now is to be ratchet. The more ratchet, like even on Instagram, like some of that stuff funny, but dudes with wigs, come on, like just for 20 likes.
Right.
Come on, man, because there's a big picture. At some point, you take that wig off, and they're like, "Oh, you that gay dude, weird looking dude, or funny looking dude, or some other stuff to where you kind of minimize." So, and that's the hard part because it's like, man, they gonna make me do it. Like I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna have to do it for the vine, because
I ain't gonna do it.
I ain't gonna do it. And you find yourself doing it because I'm like, I need 20 more likes.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
I hope we
sad.
come out of that.
Is there something that you wouldn't do in a role? Like if somebody offered you something, you'd be like, I draw the line. I can't do that.
It's gonna be hard for me to play a slave.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
What if it was like Kunta Kinte, like the head slave?
It's still hard. Unless I'm killing somebody at the end.
Wait, unless you get to be like Django out
I
here.
can play Nat Turner. That's
Okay.
probably what I
Okay.
can play. So y'all want to do Nat Turner movie, holla at me. I can grow my nappy hair out. I don't know. That's my thing too. 'Cause I'm still like a man's man.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard, for me at time to do, had a bitch assness. It's kind of hard at times to where most dudes like, man, I don't care, I'll do it. How much they paying? I'd be like, yeah, some of this bigger than money, bro.
It is. It
And so
definitely
that's
is.
my, because I have values and standards and, integrity for myself. Don't look at your watch.
No.
I'm about to take her watch.
No, I looked
are you
at
flashing me?
it. I am. Got this
call you.
She was
rollie.
making sure it was on.
No, that's it.
Okay.
No, so we have to get out of here. But before we do, where can all of your fans find you and your handsome self?
Thank you. I ain't got no fans.
Yes, you do.
Come on now.
They don't love me, man.
They love you.
I ain't gonna say I looked at some reality show and the dude had like 5 times many followers.
He bought those. It's
Yeah.
really cheap to buy
I'm
them.
about to buy some.
You
Don't
can.
buy
Shout out.
any.
When you see me
can.
with 5 million.
Yeah,
The
you
nigga
bought
to know
those.
it's fake.
You bought
Stop.
those.
Let me tell you
Where
why.
can we find you?
HaroldHouseMore.com on Instagram. Let me tell you though, because I lost a job. It's like, well, we looked at your Instagram and this person had 400,000 followers.
They bought those.
It's a thing. It's a thing now. They put that on applications.
It is, yeah.
Shout out to the real IG follow buyers.
You are so stupid.
Where can we find you on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook?
My Facebook is my name, Harold Housemore. My Instagram is my name, Harold Housemore. And my Twitter is Who's House, WHOZ House. So yeah, follow me, man, so I ain't gotta buy none of y'all.
Right. Where can we find you?
You guys can stay in touch with me at Teznos on Twitter and Instagram, and tune into Next every week.
Yes, and as also always, you can find me, Megan Thomas, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream. And make sure you catch our handsome guest, Mr. Harold Housemore, every Wednesday at 10 p.m. EST on Centric for Single Ladies.
It's my last season, so watch it.
Yeah, and you'll take your shirt off?
This is my
Again?
last season, so no.
What?
Yeah, that's it. So watch it. I'm gonna do a Raquel and just disappear.
You better
Stop
not.
it. Stop it.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.